Usually when we look at university guides or scholarship manuals, they're just so dry. They're administrative.
Right, they're like reading a legal document.
Exactly. But I've been reading through this China Study Guide 2026 all morning, and I have to say, this feels less like a brochure and more like a treasure map.
That is a perfect description. It's a map, but the treasure is guarded by a whole lot of red tape and some very, very strict deadlines.
High risk, high reward, and honestly, high complexity. So the mission for today is pretty specific. We're going to crack the code on the 2026 intake for studying in China.
And the premise is a big one.
It is. We aren't just talking about getting a degree. We are talking about getting a world-class education in medicine, AI, business, you name it, at what, a quarter of the cost of Western schools?
At most. And potentially, if you follow this map correctly, for free.
Potentially fully funded.
And when we say fully funded, we need to be really clear. This isn't, a 10% discount on your tuition. No. We are talking about the Chinese government paying for your tuition, your housing, your insurance, and then literally handing you cash every single month to live on.
It sounds almost too good to be true. Like, where's the catch? But okay, before we get to the catches, and there definitely are some, let's set the stage. Why China and why now? The headlines are all about geopolitics, not textbooks.
True. But if you look just at the education sector, China is aggressively positioning itself as a superpower. Despite all the noise, Indian student enrollment, for example, is actually growing.
And why is that?
Because the infrastructure at these top universities, places like Tsinghua, Peking University, Zhejiang, it rivals the absolute best you'd find in the U.S. or Europe.
And the cost difference is it's staggering. I was crunching the numbers from the guide. A 6-year medical degree, all in tuition, living, flights, it's somewhere between 20 to 45 lakh rupees.
Right.
Compare that to a private college in India where you're looking at 70 lakhs to over a crore. It's not even in the same ballpark.
It's a massive value play. But the real prize, the thing that turns this from a good deal into a life-changing opportunity, is the CSC, the Chinese government scholarship.
The Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail. Because if you get that, your cost isn't just low, it's zero. Mathematically, it's actually better than zero.
Okay, let's unpack that. Because when I read the details of the 2026 coverage, I had to double-check the numbers. Walk us through what this Type A funding actually means for a student.
So it covers the big stuff first. Full tuition waiver. That's the biggest expense, just gone.
Okay.
Then free on-campus accommodation, so you're in a dorm, rent-free. Then comprehensive medical insurance. But the part that really turns heads is the stipend.
The monthly allowance.
Yes. For an undergraduate, the government deposits about 3,000 RMB into your bank account every single month. That's roughly 35,000 rupees.
Wait, hold on. Just to be clear. You are studying for free, living for free, and they're giving you 35,000 rupees a month.
That's right.
That's basically an entry-level salary in a lot of cities.
Exactly. And it goes up. For a master's student, it's about 41,000 rupees. For a PhD, it's nearly 47,000 rupees a month. You are effectively being paid to be a scholar.
That is wild. But okay, here comes the reality check. Because if the deal is that good, everyone wants it. I imagine the line for this is endless. Who actually gets this? What's the filter?
The filter is brutal, and it starts with your academic record. The guide is very, very explicit about this for 2026. A GPA of 3.0 out of 4.0, or having 80% plus marks in your previous education. That's the baseline.
So if I have 75%, don't even bother.
I wouldn't say don't bother, but for the full CSE scholarship, you are swimming upstream. You have to think of your grades as currency. An excellent academic record is the money you use to buy your spot in the ranking.
So 80% is like the cover charge to get into the club, but it doesn't guarantee you a drink.
Precisely. If you have 85 or 90%, you have more purchasing power. You can afford a better university. If you're sitting at 80% flat, you might need to be more strategic. Maybe avoid the top schools in Beijing.
And there are age limits, right? I saw some numbers in there.
Yes, and they are strict. Under 25 for undergrad, under 35 for master's, and under 40 for PhD. And they don't bend the rules.
Okay, so let's say I'm listening. I'm 23. I've got an 88% average. I'm ready to go. I'm thinking, great, 2026 intake. I'll start my application next year.
And that is exactly how you lose the scholarship.
Okay, tell us why.
This is the single biggest mistake people make. the early bird rule.
Mm.
The 2026 intake process does not start in 2026. It starts in October 2025.
That is incredibly early.
It is. Phase 1, which is just shortlisting universities, that starts now, really. But the official scholarship window is October 2025 to March 2026. But, and this is a massive but, waiting until March is a death sentence.
Why? Do the spots just run out?
The quotas run out. They review applications on a rolling basis. By the time March comes around, the admission officers at places like Tsinghua or Fudan have already seen thousands of applications. They've likely already mentally filled their spots.
I noticed in the notes that Tsinghua has a bizarrely early deadline.
December 31st, 2025.
Wow. So before the actual year of intake even begins, the door is already shut.
Correct. If you're out partying on New Year's Eve thinking you'll do the application in January, you've already missed the boat for the MIT of China.
And what about other top schools?
Nankai University is another one. Their window is October to March. But again, applying in January is so much safer than trying in March.
It's like boarding a plane. You don't want to be the person sprinting to the gate as it's closing.
Exactly. Because late applications are almost never even looked at. If you miss that window, you don't just miss a semester. You miss the entire academic year. You have to wait until 2027.
Okay, urgency noted. October 2025 is go time. So let's talk about the application itself. Because looking at the requirements, there's one document that seems to be a real make-or-break factor. The guide calls it the study plan or research proposal.
This is the secret weapon. And I call it a weapon because you literally use it to fight your way to the top of the pile.
It has to be over 800 words. But tell me, is this like a personal statement for a U.S. college? You know, the I dream of saving the world essay?
No, do not write that. That is the most common mistake. This is not a memoir. It is a technical blueprint.
A blueprint for what, exactly?
It needs to outline what you want to research or study in specific detail. But the most strategic part, the thing that separates the winners from the rejects, is what I call the China connection.
The China connection. Okay, break that down for us.
You have to answer the question, why must this specific study happen in China? Why can't you do this in India? Why not Germany?
Okay, give me an example. Say I'm an engineering student. How do I make that connection?
Don't just say, I want to study robotics. Say, I want to study robotics at this university because your department partners with the Shenzhen industrial supply chain, and I want to research automated assembly lines in that specific ecosystem.
Oh, that is good. That shows you've done your homework.
Right. Or for a medical student, don't say, I want to be a doctor. Say, China's patient volume and case variety are unmatched, specifically in cardiology, and I want to train in that high-volume environment.
It's flattery, but with facts.
It is. It shows you aren't just looking for any degree. You are looking for their degree. This document is often the tiebreaker between two students with the same grades. If your study plan is a clear roadmap, you win.
So structure it like a proposal. Here's what I know, here's what I want to learn, and here is why I can only learn it from you.
Exactly. Professional. Detailed.
All right, let's get into the bureaucracy for a minute. The unsexy stuff, the checklist, because I feel like this is where people get tripped up on technicalities. What are the absolute must-haves for the CSC submission?
The paperwork is where dreams go to die, if you're not careful. I mean, obviously you have the application forms. But the first trap is the passport.
The expiration date.
Yes. The guide emphasizes this. Your passport must be valid until at least September 2026.
Oh, I can see people messing that up. You have a valid passport now, so you think you're fine. But if it expires in June 2026...
You're rejected.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Yeah.
Because you can't get a visa on it. So if your passport is even close to that date, renew it now. Don't wait.
Okay. What about transcripts? The guide says notarized copies. What does that actually mean? You can't just scan the one from your school.
No. A scan is just a picture. Notarized means you take your originals to a lawyer or a notary public and they stamp and sign a copy, stating it's a true copy. It gives it legal weight. A plain scan will probably just get thrown out.
Good to know. And recommendation letters.
You need two. And here's a strategic tip. Do not chase titles.
What do you mean by that?
So many students try to get a letter from a local politician or the school principal who doesn't even know their name, thinking the big title will impress the admissions committee.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
They want to see your academic potential. A detailed letter from your chemistry teacher who can talk about your lab work is worth 10 times more than a generic, he's a good student letter from a mayor.
Substance over status.
Always.
And then there's the health and legal stuff.
The physical examination form, which is pretty thorough blood tests, x-rays, and a non-criminal record certificate, which is just a police clearance. And finally, language proof.
HSK for Chinese taught.
HSK 5, yes. And for English taught, it's usually an IELTS of 6.0 or TOEFL of 80, unless you can prove your last degree was entirely in English.
And there was one more update in the guide about visas that sounded like a new hassle. Biometrics.
Yes, this is a critical new step for 2026 biometrics. So your fingerprints and a face scan are mandatory for all visa applications at the centers in Delhi, Mumbai, and Kolkata.
So you can't just mail your passport to an agent anymore.
No, you have to physically go. So you need to factor that travel into your budget and your timeline.
Got it. Okay, I want to pivot a little. We spent a lot of time talking about medical students, since that's a huge applicant pool, but this guide got me really excited about the opportunities for everyone else. The engineers, the business majors, the tech folks.
And this is where the landscape is really shifting. I mean, if you look at the last 5 years, China has climbed the global tech rankings at a frightening speed.
I saw a stat about AI research citations.
Yes, Tsinghua University now rivals the Ivy League's MIT, Stanford in AI research output. Peking University is a leader in machine learning. If you want to build robots, being in Beijing or Shenzhen is arguably better than Silicon Valley right now.
And for business?
You have schools like CE-IBS in Shanghai. It's consistently ranked as one of the best MBA programs in the world.
So if I'm that engineering student, is the scholarship strategy different? Do I still go for the CSC?
You absolutely can, and your odds are quite good because China wants STEM talent. But for 2026, there's a new pilot program mentioned called the China Links Scholarship.
That sounds interesting. What is it?
It's designed for shorter research stints, from 1 to 12 months. So if you're already doing a master's or PhD somewhere else, you can get full funding to go to a Chinese university for a year to collaborate on research.
That is a brilliant way to test the waters.
Exactly. And don't forget the provincial scholarships. Beijing and Shanghai have their own government scholarships. Sometimes, if you just miss out on the CSC, you can get one of these and still get a full or partial ride.
And what about the career outlook? I mean, with medicine, the path is clear. But if I get a civil engineering degree from Shanghai Jiaotong, what do I do with that?
You leverage this scarcity. Think about it.
Yeah.
How many engineers in India have a degree from a top global university? A lot.
Right.
Now, how many of them also speak fluent Mandarin?
Very, very few.
Almost none. That combination of a hard technical degree plus Mandarin proficiency, say HSK 4 to 6, makes you a unicorn. Companies like Huawei, Alibaba, even Western companies with huge China operations, they are desperate for people who can bridge that gap.
You become the bridge, and bridges get paid very well.
Extremely well.
Okay, we have to address the elephant in the room, though. Let's circle back to the medical students for a second. The scholarships are great, but the regulations seem to be getting tighter every year.
They are.
Yeah.
And this is where you need to be very serious. The scholarship gets you in the door, but the license is what matters. And the National Medical Commission, the NMC, has changed the rules.
What are the big red lines for 2026?
First, duration. The course must be a minimum of 54 months. But crucially, you must do a 12-month internship at the same university in China.
So you can't do the classes there and then come back to India for the internship to save some money?
No. That path is officially closed. If you do that, your degree is invalid in India. You have to stay for the full 6 years.
And the language issue, the bilingual programs.
Avoid them. Just avoid them. The NMC mandates the entire course must be 100% in English. If your degree says bilingual, you might not even be allowed to sit for the licensing exam.
Speaking of the exam, it's not the FMGE anymore. It's the next.
The National Exit Test.
Yeah.
And we have to look at the data from the old exam, the FMGE. The guide notes that the pass rate for China graduates in 2024 was only 19.45%.
Yeah, hold on. Less than 20%. That is abysmal. If I'm a parent listening to this, I'm thinking this is a terrible investment. Why are people still going?
It's a valid fear. The issue isn't just the universities. It's often a student's lack of focus. But it highlights why university selection matters more than scholarship selection.
How so?
If you go to a low-tier university just because it was cheap, you might not get the clinical training you need to pass. But if you go to a top school like Jilin, Zhejiang, or Nanjing Medical, their pass rates are much, much higher. You cannot just pick the cheapest option if you actually want to become a doctor.
So the takeaway is, don't let the scholarship blind you. Free tuition is worthless if you can't get your license at the end.
That's the bottom line. You're there to become a doctor, not just to save money.
Okay, we have covered a massive amount of ground. If we had to distill this into a final recipe for success for the 2026 applicant, what would it be?
I'd break it down into 4 pillars.
Go for it.
Pillar 1 is speed. The process starts in October 2025. Be in that first wave of applicants. Do not wait.
Right.
Pillar 2 is excellence. You need those grades above 80%. That's your leverage.
Pillar 3.
Strategy, that 800-word study plan. Make that China connection. Make them feel like they need you in their program.
And the last one?
Logistics. Check your passport expiry today, get your documents notarized early, and plan for that biometrics trip.
That is a solid roadmap. You know, what I love about this is that it really challenges the default path. We assume study abroad means going west.
It does. And if we zoom out for a second, beyond the degree and the savings, think about the world we live in. It's getting more polarized. The West and China are decoupling in many ways.
Right.
In that world, the most valuable person in the room is the one who understands both sides. If you spend 5 or 6 years living in China, learning the language, understanding the culture, that cross-cultural competency is an asset you can't get from a book. It might be the ultimate career advantage for the next 20 years.
That is a fascinating thought. You're not just studying in China, you're studying China itself. And that knowledge is an asset no one can take from you.
Precisely.
Well, there you have it. The code is cracked. The 2026 China Scholarship Strategy is laid out. If this piqued your interest at all, don't just sit on it. Start shortlisting those universities now. That window opens sooner than you think. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
Thank you.
See you next time.